Welcome, everyone, to the Open Channel podcast, where we share through conscious conversation the invitation of further embodiment of unity and higher states of conscious awareness. I'm Shauna Green.
And I'm Evelina Moline. Welcome to this co-created space for people who want to connect and remember the core essence of who they are. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so grateful to have you here with us.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Yay.
I love it when we start and we start in conversation and then we're like, oh yeah, we should be recording this.
Well, it's also delicious, you know.
Yeah.
There's so much juiciness in every part.
Oh, yes. And this week, holy smokes. Well,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about a conversation we had. It was the 11th, so it was the one. It was 111
portal.
So 111 222. And I noticed, and I'm sure you did too. The night before, it was in the 10th.
Yep.
No sleep at all.
No sleep. Oh
None.
my gosh.
None.
Yes.
So
No sleep.
In that meeting that morning, which is
Yes,
at 6 a.m.,
I was exhausted.
I hadn't slept a week.
I didn't either.
Like
that's
nothing.
So funny.
It
no,
was
I totally
so
woke up.
intense.
I was so awake and so not sleeping. It was
yeah, because it
zappy.
started the night before.
Massive.
On
Yes,
the 10th.
it did.
Yeah.
Massive energies. I felt I felt areas that felt like they were burning in my hands.
Yeah. My feet felt like I had plugged into an electrical socket and I was there the whole night.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was absolute vibratory mayhem. Like just
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
amazing. Yeah. And then I noticed last night it started up again a little bit. And obviously it comes in waves, and I think we all open to it at different points. So it's not that that's when it came in. It's just, but yeah, it's just like continual waves and waves. But once that started on the 10th, whew.
It was intense on the 10th.
Yeah.
I mean, intense.
Yeah.
It really was. It was really intense. And I had, really unbelievable dreams.
Oh, yes. Weird
crazy
dreams. Oh, yes.
Yes. Yeah. I had, it's funny because the dream I had, I actually was explaining to a work colleague, because the dream was kind of about work, but it was just the characters that were work characters. But at the same time, I described it to this friend, and she said, oh my gosh, it's weird because the same themes in your dream were in my dream too, but it didn't have the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about like this, we were on an island, there was all this flooding, and we were joyously, me and the other work colleagues were joyously coming together with people who were coming for blessings, and they were coming to it was sort of like there was a sacred ceremonial gathering that was happening. And so all these people, it was like we were on this bus, one of those tall buses, but the water was so high that the bus was like, almost like a ferry, and it sort of turned into a ferry. And all these people were like, oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be here. Like so grateful and excited to be together for this sacred blessing thing. And I thought for just a moment about my baggage, that was in the hold below, because the bus, is really tall, right? And I was like, oh, I wonder if it got soaked. But, I know it's held. It's all good. Like, I'm not going to even think about it. And so, went over different parts of the island. There was a stream and sacred water and the blessings, and everybody was just like, oh, goody, it's my turn. And then the ferry kept going around, and out of the side, you could see, I could see all these swimmers in the silvery blue water. It was just the flow of the swimmers doing their strokes in the water. And it was just very sort of part of the natural landscape, almost like waves that were supposed to be there, but they were all in synchronization. It was all beautifully timed and just powerful, and with agency, and with intention. And it was
Yeah.
it was just beautiful. It was like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm just really like knowing all of this is held. And even as these waters are like up way
Yeah.
high, it was like, it's all good.
Yeah.
We're
It's
great.
almost like you get thrown with, because I was having similar things where you get thrown with something that should be terrifying
Yeah.
and you're not. And
No,
it's just
not at
like,
all.
wow, this is really okay. Look at this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
When in the past, that could have easily turned into like some sort of nightmare.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't at all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it persisted like most of the night, even though
Yeah.
I was awake, like anytime I wasn't, there
Oh yeah,
was this dream.
in and out constantly. Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing for me. And it was on the 10th, ended up sort of having this like past life regression
Wow.
with someone, and so I had this massive release.
Wait,
And
so the dream was the past life regression.
no, it wasn't. But
Oh,
that
okay.
night, it was
Okay,
right.
got
It was on the
got it.
10th, and so on that night, it sort of opened the floodgates for more
Wow.
to come in. So I was having all these dreams of other lifetimes.
Wow.
Really, like I was in war. I was a man. I was in war, and I was witnessing all these people getting killed, and just all these different letting goes and letting goes. It was really, really fascinating. But the regression I had was huge, and it continued into the next day, into like my breath work.
Wow.
Of just seeing what had happened to me a long, long time ago. And I'll just share it. I'll try to make a long story short. But basically, I was a woman and I had an infant taken from my belly. And there was significance to this infant that these beings wanted. And they took, the baby was not ready to be born yet. So they just took my womb with it.
Oh.
Of course, I didn't survive. But it was really a grotesque, heinous experience that
Wow.
went through streams and streams of lifetimes.
Whoa.
And then so many things connected within this life of experiences that I've had, and it's just like it was huge.
Wow. Sounds
Yeah.
very powerful.
Yeah, and then right in the midst of like the 111, and then with all those energies coming in, it's just been like complete more level of awareness, and just this calming, like this,
Yeah.
just calming.
Yes.
Like just an unbelievable calming about everything.
Just
like-
that it's all
Yeah.
it's all in as it should be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a massive portal.
It really
And
was.
was-
I was not expecting that. I didn't think this was, because you didn't really hear too much about it, in the whispers.
I know.
And then all of a sudden it's like boom.
Bam. I know. It was massive. It was really massive. And it was felt like since I experienced it myself, I've seen reports, but it
Yes,
was more
Exactly. I've heard other
like
people commenting. Yeah.
like retroactively commenting on it. Like they didn't
Yeah.
expect it, but it happened too.
Yeah. So amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's other dates coming up too that are supposed to be significant as well. But
Yeah.
yeah. So much fun.
So much fun. Yep. And we just get to keep flowing with each thing, each unexpected change and shift and opportunity, and it's a
Yeah.
wild ride.
It sure is. And it's so exciting. It's
Yes.
whenever you go through something like that, it just kind of reignites the excitement of
Yes,
what's coming.
exactly. And it's so I think it's nourishment for the times that feel like disconnect is there from the intention and what we're living into and what we see in the middle world.
Mm-hmm.
That those kinds of moments of those unexpected, intense, energetic pieces help us remember that, oh yeah,
Yeah.
disconnect's all part of it. It's all good.
Yeah.
That feeling of the, middle world appearance doesn't match all that's going through my process.
Yeah. Yeah. I always get excited when I start to feel the energies come up through my feet,
Mhm.
at night, because then I know, okay, get ready.
Yeah,
This is the opportunity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know. And the it was interesting too how even beyond that one dream, that other visions and images have been coming through
Mm-hmm.
of a variety of things, but just like like I think you had mentioned something about a pyramid with light, like that
Oh,
you're the
yes.
pyramid of light thing. That came through me too.
Yeah, like the apex of the pyramid, which is all
Exactly.
about communication.
Yes, that came through mine too.
Mm-hmm.
Imagery, like in a very powerful meditation. And
Yeah. Yeah. Hence
so,
our connection back to our earlier conversation about
yes.
going to Egypt. I just love how the universe just keeps pointing. It's just like, it's like you get to the point where it's like, oh, you just can't even miss it anymore. It's like,
And
we've always wanted to have the flashing lights of
totally.
signs, and
Here
it's
they
like
are.
now they're everywhere. It's like, whoa.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
Well, it is an amazing time, and we are continuing to see so much what some might describe as chaos
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
external, with a lot of people not understanding what's going on, a lot of fear out there. And yet I'm seeing moments, little blips of people going inward in those
Mm-hmm.
moments.
Yes, and making big changes in their life. I've been seeing everywhere people, um, just I'm going to live on the road.
Yeah.
A couple people that I know have just started doing that. Just complete 180 shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder, sometimes it feels like, well, maybe it's a blessing not knowing.
Completely.
I mean, of course, it's always more insightful to be aware, and you have a bigger understanding. But sometimes the naivety is,
A blessing.
yeah, it really is, because it takes the weight off of knowing what's really happening sometimes. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
And then in
fascinating.
hindsight, we get to connect more dots.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's also an interesting road these days with the trust falls. Have you noticed that?
Mm.
That some of the trust falls are getting more intricate. Does
Mm-hmm.
that make sense? Like, I mean, I've always said that the walking the path of faith is one trust fall after another.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, the uncomfortableness is getting more uncomfortable. It's getting more intense. It's like you have to keep going. You can't just be
Yes.
uncomfortable. It's like more uncomfortable, more
Yes.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes. And the trust fall asks are becoming more like they have more familiar costumes. Like
Mhm.
some of the appearances of the trust falls look like things that are part of the faith-based path, and yet they're not. They're,
Mhm.
you have to discern, at least I'm finding, that I'm having to really discern every one that's offered as, what's the faith ask in this?
Mhm.
And even though it may be under an umbrella of what looks like spirituality, you can feel when whatever it is not
Mhm.
vibrationally in that resonance. So yeah, it's just really interesting how we're being brought more and more challenges. I go back to the image in Star Wars of how Luke Skywalker is doing the tests. Yoda's there and he's doing the Jedi training, and
Mhm.
he there's like all these, you can see he's got like some kind of something obscuring his vision so that he's in the challenge or whatever it is, and he's doing this and that, and there are all these ways that he's moving, and there are all these familiar things that he's having to have the challenges with. Anyway, just
Yeah, it's like you have to just it's like watching the hero's journey, it's the not knowing
yeah,
of what you're capable of, and having to step into it and build on it. It's almost like this year, it's like it's all like we're building, like we're actually, because you and I have been talking about this, the
yes,
5D. It's like we're actually starting to build now, but we
Yes.
don't know what we're doing.
We're
We don't know
creating
how to do it. We
and
don't
we
know what it's
don't,
going to look like. We're
yes,
just trusting and just being uncomfortable with not having any clue what's happening.
exactly. And knowing that we may not be able to actually see what's being created and just have to know it's there.
Yeah.
Just have to know it exists because we've taken the steps.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that,
And your belief in it is
right.
such a powerful aspect of that.
Yeah. It's
What
not
you're willing
seeing
to
is
believe.
believing.
Yeah.
It's believing is seeing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that line.
So powerful.
That's from the, in case anybody remembers, that's from the Santa Claus.
It's from Santa Claus? You're
It's
kidding.
from the movie The Santa Claus, you know, with Tim Allen.
Gosh, I don't think I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, such a great Christmas classic, and my
Yeah.
family likes to watch it every year. And it's there are a couple moments when there is an elf named Judy who says it in Santa's North Pole domain, and then the main kid character in the movie also says it to Tim Allen, his dad, who is becoming Santa Claus. And anyway.
Yeah. Well, I love that. That's a perfect quote.
Yeah.
So
one
perfect.
of my favorites. Yes. So yeah, we're seeing into the new world.
Yeah. Yeah. And just completely just continuing letting go of everything that is not serving you.
And all limitations. I mean, just letting go of our limitations on what possibilities are out there. It is so, I don't know about you, but I am noticing so often and frequently around me when people use statements that have limitation embedded in them.
Yeah.
And
I'm noticing what I'm thinking and what I'm believing in. Like I've been catching myself constantly like, oh, do I really believe that? Like even with food, like, do I really need to eat right now just because it's dinner time? No, I'm not even hungry. Just constantly seeing through the veil of all these limiting beliefs and all these programs and the way we've thought being human was supposed to be. And it's not like that at all.
No, but how we continue to reinforce those outdated limitations by statements, that as people say them, I'm like, wait a minute, you're restricting the flow of the timelines if you say that. Like things like, oh, we're never going to get to this whatever thing this afternoon. I'm like, well, what if we do?
Yeah. I mean, the words are so powerful. I mean, we've had episodes where we talked about language before a while back.
The vibration.
The vibration that you're sending through your physical body with the word is resonating it, is instilling it even further.
It's imprinting. It's like, we need to continue to be aware of the imprinting we are intending with all of our actions. Yeah.
And it's not about just, only saying positive things, and avoiding the felt sense of the shadow, but acknowledging it and acknowledging what you're going through at the same time without having that negative spin on it.
Exactly. And without the limitations, without the parameters.
Yeah. Because we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know what's possible. No. And we know, we know anything is possible, but to really embody that knowing is a whole different story.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's really something you have to work on constantly and really watch yourself.
It's awareness. It's like, where is it's also an attention piece, because as we place our attention, we are placing power.
We're focusing that energy into that, and that's what we're creating.
Exactly. And so if we keep the attention in what we're intending, then it's helping manifest that, even if what's appearing in the physicality isn't matching it.
Yeah. And keeping that focus and attention on that intention, because the energy, as we know, follows your intention.
Exactly.
It's so simple. We tend to forget it, but it's so simple. Yeah.
It's easy to complicate it, and yet it really can be quite basic if we allow it.
Yeah. I mean, our nature is simplicity.
Exactly. And
everything
flow
is simple. Yeah.
Flow. It's just to be in flow. As long as we're in flow, all is arriving that is intended to.
Yeah. Yeah, we just get caught up in the entanglements that we've bought into and participated in and brought them into ourselves, you
Yeah.
know? It's really acknowledging and taking that responsibility that no one's doing anything to you. The outside
Right.
world, it's like there's programs,
Mm-hmm.
holographic
Exactly.
programs of kind of, they're not like direct programs. It's so quantum, and we participate in them and we buy into them and then we carry them in our field and we think that's the reality.
And we just
Yeah.
have our own VR
Yeah.
headset, and it's
Yeah.
just the lens is a little, I feel like each, how ophthalmologists create a prescription for your glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I have them right now, not, but when that happens, they adjust the thickness of the lens in different areas so that it can, make compensations for certain things.
Yeah.
And our VR headsets are like that. They're,
Yeah.
they have thicknesses in areas where it distorts what we see in relation to our imprinting and the emotions that we've experienced in physicality before, that those vibrations shape the lens that we use to see what's going on around us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's challenging. I mean, you don't know what you don't know.
No.
So you
exactly.
have to inquire. You have to keep your attention on what it is you're choosing, what it is you're allowing yourself to think, etc. I mean, we've talked about this a gazillion times, but it just can't be said enough.
Well, and to give ourselves compassion.
It's a continuous work. Yeah.
Right. And to compassion for ourselves and others who get caught up in the headset, believing it's truth.
Yes. And then judging ourselves for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we fall into the cycle again, when we judge ourselves for what we're experiencing, or, oh, I did this, or I'm not moving ahead, or I'm not where I want to be, or I'm not where I should be, or this pattern should be gone.
Exactly. They're all expectations, and
yeah,
there's just what is.
Yeah.
Whatever is in the present moment in physicality, whatever we're directly experiencing in the present moment. But
yeah, because it's all just going to come up naturally. You if you're aware, you're going to see it when it's time for it to arise its head.
Yeah. I've been noticing clearing in my throat lately. Are you hearing that? I'm like clearing my throat.
Yeah, that's been happening. Well, we've talked about that. That's been happening a lot, but I've noticed it more and more. And spontaneously, it's like I'll be in the middle, and all of a sudden, it's like, yeah.
Got something there,
or a tickle or something. Yeah.
Yes.
So much happening in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we're all getting our voice, right? Humanity as a whole, as a collective, is getting our own voice.
Mm-hmm. Yes, our voices collectively are shifting in their vibrations as well. I mean, I just think we're literally vibrating as our unique instrument in evolved ways, and so the voice has to be a part of that evolution. Yeah,
it's such a huge piece of how we've all been silenced and controlled for so long.
Exactly.
I mean, such a power, it's and like we've said before, it's like the bottleneck. It's like you can really hold everything down, right? So easily around that space. It's like, all you gotta do is have that collar on, Yeah.
Chills going through the body.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it with different people speaking out. Like even with my mother, she said some things the other day, and I was like, huh. I was like, wow, because she's not, aware of anything that's happening, on a spiritual level, or and yeah, it's shocking. It's like it's happening. It's so it's happening everywhere.
Maybe she's getting more aware. Who knows?
Yeah. It's lovely to see when you notice it in those around you.
Yeah.
Noticing
light and love in places where it may seem unexpected.
Yeah. It's such a joy to see other people. It's a joy to feel it yourself, but when you see it in others, it's just like, it's just such a there's such satisfaction and peace in that.
Yes. It's like it helps remind us that the collective is shifting. and it is more of a I guess more kind of like, when the dolphins or whales are swimming through the water and you see the little top of the neck of the the fin, the dorsal fin is visible, or even just the head and the spout. It's just that, like, you can see that there's life moving through the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's easy to, stay in your own spiritual bubble and your own spiritual community and not really associate with those who are choosing very differently. But it's so lovely to see the growth that's happening all around us.
And in ways that seem sometimes disconnected from things, like pockets of things. I'll hear a story from one of my family members and it'll have to do with something that's totally out of left field, like another social group that they happen to observe or something, and just an indicator of wow, that's happening in other pockets too. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
How beautiful to hear that story. And they're like, why do you like that so much?
Yeah.
You don't know them. I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great.
When it resonates, you can't deny the feeling.
And it's like a secret Santa gift, like, where it's been a secret and, you open it up, but the others don't understand, that it was the perfect thing, or that, it came with these unexpected feelings. So
yeah, it's just constantly being aware and tuning into the signs that you're always getting, the confirmations, just like we were talking about earlier. It's all around us.
Yeah.
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 Magical.
I'm reminded of this is a movie that a lot of people have seen, but it's just it has that same kind of patterns of the synchronicities, that movie Serendipity. Do you remember that? With John Cusack and
maybe.
And
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's just it has Molly Shannon in it too, and
it sounds familiar, but I don't know.
It's just a delightful movie, and it's got all these moving parts and pieces, and the whole thing is one synchronicity, one happy accident, after another. And also, technically a Christmas movie because it originated at a Christmas sale. That's the beginning of the movie. But delightful little synchronicities, but that give a nod to the larger interwoven tapestry that helped create whatever unfoldings come forward. It's really fun. If you haven't seen it, it's cute.
Yeah. I've tend to withdrawn from movies and these things because I'm noticing more and more, like, if I tune into a TV, that I can see it's like, the black portal, right? And even when you just look at a TV set, it's like, oh, there's the big black portal, right?
Yeah.
And when you're watching something, you feel yourself getting, trying to pull you in, and so it's okay, if you're staying as the observer and witnessing yourself watching the show. But it's, if you decide to just let go and be like, okay, I'm just gonna, I'm going in, I'm gonna participate in this show. It's like, you really just get pulled right out of the present. And I've sort of pulled back from watching things on the TV, like, so if I'm watching like stuff on YouTube or something like that, it's different. It doesn't have that production of programming in it. But yeah, it's so fascinating. I mean, of course, I still enjoy watching something occasionally, but I'm very careful now about what state of mind I want to be in when I choose to sit down and watch something. Because if I'm not going to stay completely present and really watch myself, those holographic inserts are going to pop right into my field, and then they're going to be there, as an energy kind of sucking consciousness that, so you really have to be aware when you're participating and watching something.
For me, it's more of a family ritual of just
Yeah.
sharing some
Mm-hmm.
lightness for a few minutes. It's not,
Yeah.
we don't watch for long periods of time. It's not a, huge drawn
Yeah.
out thing, but just little moments, and the resonance of it matters. It's
Yeah.
really interesting to see what comes up in trying to choose something,
Oh, yeah. It's so
because
funny.
there's so much that nobody wants any part of. And
Yeah.
because the
Oh, yeah.
resonance is so awful.
And everything's shifted on TV. Have you noticed? Like,
Everything's
there's
shifted.
nothing good
There's
anymore.
nothing good.
Nothing's good.
Everything is low resonance.
Nothing.
The titles, the dynamics, like even some of the cooking shows, or the, even some of that, people in the family are like, ew, I don't like what they're doing. I don't want to watch
Yeah.
that anymore.
Yeah.
Like they're very aware that this
feel
doesn't
good.
fit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, we're done with that show.
Yeah. There's nothing. There's less and less. And honestly, I don't know how long TV is going to be
I
able to
know.
last, because I'm sure people are dropping away from TV more and more, because you can't deny what it feels like. You
Yeah.
can't deny the negativity and the way the programs make you feel.
I know.
It's
There's
just-
so much separation, so much competition,
drama,
so much.
sadness,
Yeah.
Fear.
They don't want any
fighting.
part of that. Oh yeah, no, none of
Yeah.
that. We have a very small, tiny pocket of things that have
Yeah.
the resonance that is acceptable, and it's
Yeah.
very far between. Like
Yeah.
it's just really not.
Yeah. Yeah. And until that shift, it's like we have the global media and they have all their programming. Until we, kind of start creating these new avenues of things of entertain, and precisely what you and I were talking about earlier about putting together something of content.
Yeah.
It's like when those start to blossom and they start to grow, then the scales sort of start to tip, and then we'll start to hopefully start having new content of things that are inspiring, are enlightening, that are also educational at the same time, that are really putting us towards our evolution versus the opposite. Yeah.
And there are things out there that are like that. There are certain resonant things that exist out there that are about what might be possible, about creation, about the miracles that the natural world is part of, that we can relate to, that just help further our scope when it comes to what's possible. I mean, I think that's where programming is going.
Yeah. And it's just, there's not, I'm sure there are many out there now, but they're not so easy to find.
Yeah.
And unless you're willing to put the effort in, but if you just turn on your TV, it's just like, no thanks.
But like that Fabulous Fungi movie, I think, did I mention it to you at one point?
No, I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. Or no, Fantastic Fungi. I think that's the official title.
Oh, yes, you did. Fungi.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Yes. Yeah. The one about the mushrooms and mycelium. Yeah. It is a stunning movie. And my octopus teacher, that one also, this what's possible, in relationships that can expand to beyond species boundaries. And
yeah, I love those types of things. I get sucked into the dodo all the time, where they have videos, short clips of videos of interspecies helping each other, animals helping each other. It's just love it. It's just so like you feel it from head to toe when you see creatures that would totally like not get along, really helping each other. It's non-human, of course, but just it's just like I could just watch that forever.
Right. And we've talked about that before too. The whole, what's going to happen with the planetary species? There has been this food web, system of eating each other. And so, as we evolve, as the planet evolves, how does that shift, and how is it affecting the organisms on the planet? And, so I think that's going to be
I love seeing the shift happen there, because that's been happening for a while, of how we interact with animals. Yeah, shifting a lot, and our communication with them. Just seeing the other day I joined this group on Facebook. I think it's called Squirrels Make Me Happy. And it's really cute, because people post their videos of their friends, right? And it was, when I first joined it was astonishing to me. Like, it's a huge group of how many people are befriending the animals in their backyards. and like naming them, getting to know them.
Yeah.
They come in their homes, because I used to do this for years when I was younger. I would feed squirrels and they'd come in my house and they'd come and go sometimes. But just seeing that it's becoming so normal.
Yeah.
It's becoming so normal.
So cool.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah, we started to do that with hummingbirds in the backyard. We had names for all of them, and I found out because there was a whole thread with hummingbirds, with a very long thread of hummingbirds. But the pertinent piece here is that in finding out about hummingbirds and starting to name them and whatever, I found out that my aunt in another part of the country was doing the same thing and had this whole relationship with the hummingbirds in her backyard and named them and had food for them and special things, and they like this and they didn't like that, and there's a certain feeder that they preferred, and we're starting to, and I know other people do it, but it was just it was fun
everywhere.
to see.
It's that compassion and love just from our hearts just opening, and you can't deny it anymore. It's happening.
The oneness, the aggregation is there.
Yeah. And it's, thankfully, stepping into more, vegetarianism, which I'm seeing more and more, which is so amazing and so inspiring. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And seeing what people are naturally reaching for when it comes to whatever they're consuming. Like I'm seeing shifts in that. Like people are,
and I'm feeling
when I offer
myself.
things, I'm like, oh, what would you like for dinner? Oh, what's sounding good tonight? And the answers I get are shifting. So
yeah. And I'm feeling, like you and I have talked about this, the shifts in what my own body is wanting to do and what it's requiring, and what I keep hearing when I consume something, even though I would consider it very healthy and light, I'm feeling more and more called to really just to let go of food altogether. So I definitely feel, and you and I have talked about this, about the path of breatharianism is definitely real. And I feel like a lot more people are going to be stepping into that.
Yeah, well, it's shifting
to go in there. Yeah.
Definitely the physical form is changing in so many ways, and we're getting all these different signals, and so much of it is based on the unique evolution of the DNA strands that we came in with, which bring all of those ancestral energetic imprints through the physical form, through the bloodstream and the consciousness of the blood, and as that combination of things projects through us the universal history that we hold. There's no, I mean, of course it makes sense that would affect our evolution of the food we need to consume.
And the universal human is one that doesn't consume. Like when you reach that point of being a physical universal human, you're not consuming food. Eating food is actually like it's a program, and it's based a lot on our emotions and our minds. We think we need food, then we have an emotional reaction, but your body adapts. Your body adapts to whatever it is you're consuming. Going into just being juicing for a while, your body will adapt to that, and eventually it just becomes light.
Yeah.
And you're energized by this prana, by light, and you don't need to, and it's you don't need that weight.
Yeah.
It's like gravity. It's like it's connected to like gravity, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's like you don't experience gravity in the same way when you stop eating food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all very transformative these times. And it's funny because as I started eating less, I wasn't eating meat and, shifted things in my diet, and I'm like, I just don't want to eat that anymore. Oh, I don't want to eat that anymore. Oh, I don't want to eat that
Even
anymore.
when I do eat something, I'm like, I don't really want this. Well, like, I don't want any of it anymore.
but so I, here I was, I wasn't eating meat, and then I started not eating any variety, because at one point I had like even goat cheeses were okay. And then that went, I didn't want those anymore. And, people in the household are like, oh, that's shifted too. Oh, really? Yeah. And so then one of them, my daughter said to me, she goes, well, wait a second. okay, so you're not eating meat because you're going to be in harmony with that. But, eating the plants is still, you're still
It's
eating
still
an
flesh.
organism.
Yeah.
It's still organism. You're
Yeah.
still eating an organism. So what about that? And I was like,
Yeah.
well, okay, you have a point.
Yeah.
And, when my body doesn't want that, I won't eat it either. So.
Yes, exactly. And everyone's going to be unique in the way they transform into that. And there's no right or wrong way about it.
Exactly. It's all equal.
Yeah. You have to listen to what your body's telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's not that eating meat is wrong.
No.
For those who are requiring it this time.
For those whose bodies are asking for it, it's needed for the system.
Yes.
The system must have it. There's certain nutrients that that the body is requiring at that time. And so just listening to what's right for your individual form is the only path. It's like we're just becoming more deeply in relationship to the messaging that we're receiving.
Yeah. It's not about denying ourselves. Every shift I've made in my diet has not been by the mind. It has not been a choice.
No.
It has been what, I don't really want that anymore.
Exactly.
I don't
want that
desire
anymore.
that anymore. I don't need that anymore. I don't even want to eat that anymore.
Right.
Everything has fallen away naturally.
Yep.
Yeah. And when you do it that way, there's no effort.
Right.
There's no trying to become a vegetarian or a breatharian. You really just have to, the more you listen to your body, it will tell you.
It's
you
not
just
a goal.
Follow it. Yeah. If you follow. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no self-improvement project involved here.
Yeah. There's no reward at the other side.
Nope.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean too that in certain moments there isn't an aliveness to eating something that your body hasn't wanted. That sometimes there is a moment and a resonance of the experience that's needed in order for a vibratory resonance. So, even if you're, if something hasn't felt right to eat and then all of a sudden in a moment it does, it's okay to just, go with the flow that comes up in your,
and
field.
not to judge
and not
yourself.
judge it.
Yeah. Not just allow it to be what it is. It's all going to happen in the divine plan that is meant to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we just get to enjoy each present moment that comes up with its,
yeah.
Upending of whatever structures we think are there. And
yeah, it's funny because I laughed because I was eating something the other day. It was a vegan, gluten-free pizza, which was very healthy. It was, cauliflower. I was like, I wonder if this is going to be my last pizza. I was like, how do I feel about that?
Yeah.
Like, I really like pizza. I'm like, okay, maybe not yet.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's funny how I'm entertaining this and, allowing my mind to be okay with it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's just being in relationship with any judgments we might hold or attachments or desires. Like, oh, is that a pattern? I don't know if that's a pattern. Let's check in. How does that feel in the body?
Yeah. It's amazing when I think back to what my diet was when I was younger, like in my 20s.
Oh my gosh.
Versus what, I would have never guessed in a million years that my diet would be what it is now. Like, not even possible. Like, how does a person live? Like, how do you survive?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
We've come a long ways.
A long way, very fast.
Not that there is a better or worse. It's just, a different resonance, different note on the keyboard. All the notes on the keyboard, equally wonderful.
Yeah. You have to have them all.
Have to have them all.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. There's many ways up the mountain. You can take the long way. You can take the short way. It's totally, it's just an experience.
Yeah.
It's not who you are. It's just the experience.
Yeah.
What kind of experience are you going to have on your journey to being the ultimate blueprint of a human?
Mm-hmm.
You can have the experience any way you want it to be.
Yeah.
No right or wrong.
I'm feeling energy waves coming through the crown. Are you feeling?
I'm feeling goosebumps. It started a little while ago.
Yeah, me too. Maybe a call to
drop in a little bit. There's so much energy coming in. My guides had told me last night, I was, just inquiring about what was going on with me and what was being called for me to look at. And they just immediately were like, there is so much coming in. Just sit. Just sit in the stillness and just be with what is in your field, because so much has been coming in our fields so much high vibrational light and light codes that,
Mm-hmm.
when we get caught up in the monkey mind and our day to day, we don't allow ourselves to really embody it fully and really let it saturate our cells. So just breathing and just being with what is here.
Just feeling any waves of sensation moving through the head, moving through maybe neck, fingers. Ooh, I'm feeling major prickles and zaps through the hands. Deep in breath and out breath.
Really grounding into the center of the earth. So, so important every day to be grounding.
Full body chills. Just welcoming sensation, allowing it to take the forefront of your attention. What do you feel in your nostrils as you breathe? What do you feel as your seat connects to the chair? Feeling waves through each leg.
Really breathing into the back of the lungs, really expanding the back of the lungs, the whole area behind you, allowing yourself to receive even more. We receive through the back, and most of us project out through the front, but we forget to open up our back.
Yeah, feeling the dissolving of any tension you might feel if it feels called to dissolve. And it may not. Just being with any tension with love and compassion. Allowing stillness to fill your field.
Just remembering to take deep breaths all the way into your body, staying in the body.
Just
so
opening.
Easy. Go ahead.
Just opening and feeling the freedom that exists through expansion. Allowing the shoulders to move in any way they feel called.
And just breathing into every single cell in your body, allowing the cells to expand, allowing the space in between the cells, the space in the cells. Really breathing in to every part of your body. Allowing the light to flood your complete physical body and your light body.
Down through the feet, down into Gaia. Allowing whatever's coursing through you to connect you more deeply to our Mother Earth.
So nurturing.
Just full body chills.
Just being held by Gaia is just like a baby being in a cradle.
Mm. Mm. Just feeling into the quality of the energies you're feeling. Do they feel like a certain shape of wavelength? Are you feeling more spiral shapes or more of an up-down vibration or a side-to-side? Or it's just interesting to explore the sensation. I was feeling almost like an energetic brushing.
Just breathing in, receiving, and as you exhale, letting go of all that does not serve you. Breathing in, receiving, breathing out, and letting go. Really allowing yourself to go even deeper into yourself, into who you are, into your cells. Going into the micro of you.
The micro universes inside of you. The multitudes of cells that are being born in each moment, and the ones that are disintegrating as they no longer serve.
I'm seeing us all just completely lit up, like strings of light in our physical bodies, like holographic wise, like we're just beings of light with like the meridians and the channels all just light.
I'm seeing them all as strings through someone's backyard, except that it's our collective one backyard. You know, those little backyard lights, and each of us is a little node along the string as we connect to one another and create the magical landscape that is the world we are living into.
I feel like I could float right out of my body. I feel so light.
That may be the plan next. Who knows? Just noticing how your form wants to be breathed. It may shift in each moment. And just noticing how the physicality is experiencing that physicality differently in this moment in relation to at the beginning of this spontaneous meditation.
Allowing it to be just whatever it needs to be.
Sometimes I find if my energy is shifting a lot, that I sometimes yawn or feel chills, or my stomach makes funny noises. So just noting what wants to be expressed.
Just allowing yourself to take some deep breaths, sending it all the way down into the center of Gaia. Really grounding yourself, your body, all the energies. Really allowing it to anchor in with gratitude. So lovely.
So wonderful. What a gift.
Wow, I'm feeling really blissed out right now.
Yep, me too.
It's kind of hard to talk.
Yep. Ooh,
yeah. That was a beautiful little cap to our discussion.
Beautiful light bath of
yes. Yeah.
Energizing nourishment.
Yeah.
Well, deep gratitude for every moment.
Getting to share this with everyone and experience this massive transformation. It is the journey that we're here for, not the destination. It's the journey.
It's the process.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. We love you, love you, love you.
Evelina.
So excited to see what's ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a treat. Much love, everyone.
Bye-bye.